morning, and welcome to the 127th Commencement exercises of the Norwich City Schools. It is with great pleasure that we present this year's graduation awards and diplomas to the class of 2018 and recognize our graduating seniors for their many accomplishments. Please remain standing as the senior class officers lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, after which our national anthem will be performed by Norwich High School senior choir members and madrigal singers under the direction of Mary Williams. Please remain standing for the national anthem. Please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Gerard O'Sullivan, Superintendent of the Norwich City School District.
Good morning, and welcome to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2018. This is a great day to celebrate one chapter of our students' lives and a wonderful day to consider the joyful opportunities of the next. We are here as a community to recognize the accomplishments of our graduating seniors. I am honored to be standing here because I am humbled by the work and effort that brought us to this day. To the parents, families, and friends gathered here, thank you for your work, your dedication, and your constant perseverance. With your help, love, and guidance, our students have succeeded. Students, congratulations on what you have earned. You have built your foundation to face the challenges before you. Like every graduating class, we don't know what the future will bring, but we do know that in that struggle, you will be successful. So I am very proud to introduce to the parents, community, and even the world, the Norwich High School class of 2018. To the class of 2018, my prayers, thoughts, and hopes are with you. Congratulations to all.
It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Eleanor O'Neill, this year's Salutatorian.
Good morning, friends, family, and faculty, and welcome to the commencement ceremony of the Norwich High School class of 2018. For the past 3 graduation ceremonies, I was in the orchestra, playing Pomp and Circumstance as the graduates marched into the ceremony. Now that I am one of those graduates, I am overwhelmed by the love and support that is evident by all the family, friends, faculty, and community members here today. The journey from kindergartner to graduate is not one that is traveled alone. So on behalf of the class of 2018, we thank every single one of you here today, or not here today, that has encouraged and inspired us over the last 12 years. Whether you're sitting down here in a cap and gown, or up there holding back the tears because your loved one is about to graduate, we all face a similar question. How will my generation be defined? For many of you in the stands, that definition could already be settled. Maybe you're a baby boomer, characterized by unprecedented economic growth, the looming Cold War, and the glory of space travel of the 1960s. Maybe you belong to Generation X and have been characterized by shifting societal values as divorce rates increase, maternal participation in the workforce increases, and MTV enters the arena in the 80s. Or perhaps you are a millennial, affected by the growing presence of technology and the repercussions of the financial crisis of the mid-2000s. But what about those of us sitting down here, anxiously waiting to receive that diploma and toss these caps into the sky, that belong to the obscure and indistinct post-millennial Generation Z? What has defined us? But more importantly, what will define us? The future of society has always rested on the shoulders of our nation's youth, but our elders are wary of us because they believe we are a lazy, selfish, unaware generation, totally uninterested in addressing the issues of our nation and of the world. That we are consumed by technological advancements like smartphones and laptops and smartwatches and tablets, that we care more about how Kylie Jenner is doing after having a baby than the political and societal turmoil regarding issues of race, gender, and class that has erupted in the past few years. And that we text, iMessage, DM, Snapchat, and tweet hundreds of messages a day, but lack the interpersonal communication skills necessary to enter the workforce. We do not have to conform to the generational stereotypes that threaten to consume us. On this day, our high school graduation, the class of 2018 is charged with the responsibility of moving society to a better place. The question is, will we fall in defeat against forces of racism, sexism, bigotry, and violence? Or will we rise in victory with the forces of compassion, fairness, understanding, and tolerance propelling us onward? The generation labeled as the greatest generation were the men and women that triumphed during World War II, at home and on the battlefield. The cries of all those suffering echoed across oceans and over land to unite entire countries in the noble fight to defeat evil and ensure the spread of justice, freedom, and democracy. 20 years later, in Selma, Alabama, in 1965, Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." Today, the words of Dr. King still ring true. We have all been exposed to the malice of the 21st century, global terrorism, threats of nuclear warfare, civil wars driving millions of refugees out of their homes, gun violence in our schools and on our streets, rising racial tensions, as well as sexual abuse on a global scale. We are all aware of the pain and suffering of those among us, but all too often, the effort to find a solution is diminished by our own detachment from it. But individuals of our generation are now reminding us of the nobility of engagement in activism. The students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School are fighting for the right of every student in America to feel safe while at school. The cries that now echo, "Never again," and force politicians to address gun safety and mental health care are setting the footprints for the rest of our generation to follow. They remind us of the value of compassion for each other's hardships. Parkland's struggle has become our struggle, forever uniting our generation in the pursuit of social justice. The activism of these students is a start, but it will not be enough. We cannot allow a few students to assume the burden of our own social responsibilities. There is an awareness sweeping the nation, and it is inviting us to participate in our country's social and political reconstruction. Okay, now, I don't know about you, but that task, the reconstruction of our society to better ensure liberty and justice for all, seems a bit daunting. I mean, how are we to know the solutions to the problems that plague our country? The answer to such a big question is actually quite simple. The world begins to change with the little things we do, and this notion is represented all around us by members of our own community. The lesson we take from these individuals is this: don't just be a teacher, be the teacher that wears punny chemistry t-shirts and stays long after the final bell has rung to teach once again how an electrochemical cell works. Or be the teacher that reads Shakespeare line by line in a tight semicircle until it finally clicks in the minds of every student in his class that Romeo and Juliet are never getting back together. Don't just be a custodian, be the custodian that knows every student by name and even plays cool music when they're cleaning up after school. Don't just be a coach, be the coach that sticks with your team of 20 teenage girls for 5 years straight and always has the backs of each and every player no matter what. Don't just be a student, be the student that witnesses tragedy in her school and decides to make the nation, make the world change their minds about gun laws. In the words of Emma Gonzalez, we are going to be the kids you read about in textbooks. Maya Angelou once said, "A bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song." We do not need to find all the answers, nor do we have to single-handedly change the world. But we each have something to say, something to do, and something to be. Each of our songs should be one of conviction and passion and strength. The change we seek must begin within ourselves, and it is when we are our best selves that our songs come together and cross the boundaries of race, sex, religion, and ethnicity. Don't just leave this ceremony and return to the silence that we so easily fall into. Let's join in with the students of America who are making their voices heard and that are fighting for what is right. Sing for justice, sing for equality. Whether you stay here or fly far from Norwich, sing your song. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. I am honored now to present our graduation scholarships. This is a unique group of awards that is presented annually at this graduation ceremony. They are provided to our students through the Greater Norwich Foundation and Dr. Thomas Manley Scholarship Fund. On behalf of all our graduates, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the donors who make this possible. At this time, I'd also like to invite up Norwich High School Assistant Principal Michelle Osterhout to join me in handing out these awards. The first award is the Greater Norwich Foundation Alan Horowitz All-Around Student Scholarship Award, and this goes to Michael Hayes. The Greater Norwich Foundation Alan Horowitz Sports Person of the Year Award goes to Zachary Race. The Greater Norwich Foundation Clara Robbins Memorial Scholarship goes to Madison Hafley. I believe there are four to six of these. So another Clara Robbins Memorial Scholarship Award goes to Leanne Humphrey. Another Clara Robbins Memorial Scholarship goes to Wesley Mills. And another Clara Robbins Memorial Scholarship goes to Eleanor O'Neill. Greater Norwich Foundation Special Clara Robbins Memorial Scholarship goes to Graham Rudy. And another special Clara Robbins Memorial Scholarship goes to Scott Tomanosi. The Greater Norwich Foundation Esther C. Flanagan Scholarship goes to Megan Turner. The Greater Norwich Foundation Harrison and Betty Edwards Science Scholarship goes to Derek Rubottom. The Greater Norwich Foundation John and James Westcott Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Kaylee Benelli. Greater Norwich Foundation Joseph Rotundo Memorial Scholarship is given to Caroline Stewart. The Greater Norwich Foundation Marcia Stewart Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Josiah Shaver. The Greater Norwich Foundation Margaret Newton Forsyth Scholarship is awarded to Emily Lehman. The Greater Norwich Foundation Robert N. Endries Scholarship is given to Delilah Geislinger. The Greater Norwich Foundation Thomas H. Ivory Scholarship is awarded to Holly Sullivan. The Greater Norwich Foundation H. William Smith Jr. Technical Scholarship has two recipients this year. The first recipient is Andrew Barry. And the second recipient is Robert Shepard. The Dr. Thomas F. Manley Nursing Scholarship also has two recipients this year. The first recipient is Alexandria Colley. And the second recipient is Miranda Quackenbush. So let's have another nice round of applause for all of those recipients. And a side note, kudos to all the parents because every single one of them said thank you. Now I would like to invite the following choir members to the microphone to sing the Alma Mater. Stephanie Carpenter, Brianna Kemp, Mackenzie Marks, Destiny June Smith, Caitlin Thomas, and Brianna Warren. I ask that everyone please rise. You are welcome to sing along. The words are printed in the program. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Wesley Mills, this year's valedictorian, who will deliver his valedictory speech.
Good morning, family, friends, and faculty, and thank you for joining us in the commencement ceremony of the class of 2018. Speaking for the entire class, I'm sure we can all agree it has been one heck of a ride getting to these seats in front of an audience like this. Looking up into the stands, I see many faces that have supported us to all extents throughout our entire high school careers. We are beyond lucky to have a group of individuals so dedicated to the success of the students in Norwich High School. I would like to thank you on behalf of the entire class for the love and support you have shown us throughout our entire journey over the years. This big old book that I have here represents the journey we have taken from the day we were born to this present day. In this book, we have experienced love, hate, gratitude, friendship, forgiveness, regret, and more. But the experience I would like to talk about today is change. As we have neared this day, I have felt discomfort like no other. This discomfort has not been the result of knowing that I will be speaking in front of a large audience like this. And it hasn't been the result of worrying about how good or bad the weather may be at my graduation party later on today. What's been discomforting has been my anticipation of change and the uncertainty it may bring. I will be straight with everyone when I say that I am scared. But like myself, however, I'm sure that with all the excitement, each of us is feeling discomfort. We might also be a little scared. This is a normal feeling, and ultimately, there is a way to push through. My goal today isn't to preach, it is to comfort. Let us remember that change is not new. We have dealt with it, we have embraced it, and maybe even initiated it. We should not feel threatened by it, and it is my job as your speaker today to address this. To begin, I would like to invite everyone on a quick walk down memory lane. Starting in Gibson and Perry Brown schools, I would like to reminisce on the years that feel like such a long time ago for us, but maybe only yesterday for many of you in the audience. These were the years where our schoolwork consisted of simple math in ELA compared to what we know now. But most importantly, we were being introduced to the communication skills and the building of interpersonal relationships that will set us up for the rest of our lives to come. And let's not forget about the pumpkin carving that every student participated in for the annual Pumpkin Festival. Looking back, this experience seems so innocent, but at the time it meant a whole lot more than just carving pumpkins. It was a responsibility that we had never had before. Everything from the intricacy of the process to the way we walked the pumpkins from school to the center of town, placing it on those shelves, allowing for hundreds of eyes to catch a glimpse of them gleaming under the cold October sky. That was one of the first times we were presented with a challenge, and our class rose to the occasion. It's with that same commitment and level of conviction that we will continue to face an ever-changing world. In middle school, we were finally no longer limited to a single classroom to learn. With this newfound freedom and responsibility came authority. Yes, believe it or not, a sixth grader was given a small bit of authority in this world. But that authority came with a price. Our workload grew much heavier, and depending on the teacher, some of us were given homework, which was a big change for many of us. I'm sure you can all agree. But as middle school progressed, the Common Core was introduced to our school district in the attempt to make all students more college and career ready. I'm sure for many of us, though, parents included, we felt like we were being hit by a truck. Those who were blessed to find themselves in Mr. Cunningham's algebra class also found themselves sitting up late at the kitchen table with their parents, racking their brains, trying to complete the homework assignment. I was just an 8th grade boy, and one time I found myself crying over the frustration I was feeling because of this new amount of work we were thrown into. If you are in the audience, Mr. Cunningham, I think you are a great teacher and a great man, but boy, that class was hard. With that said, look, we are sitting in these seats today, living and breathing. We survived. Sure, the uncertainty and doubt that the change brought was hard to embrace, but definitely not impossible. When high school came knocking on the door, again we were gifted with more freedom and authority, but as I mentioned earlier, it came with a price, an even heavier workload and far greater responsibility. Some of us learned how to take the antiderivative of x cubed plus 37x squared minus 23, and holy moly, is that a huge difference from the 2 plus 2 equals 4 that we learned 12 years ago. Year after year, thanks to Mr. Bernstein and Mrs. Locke, we were given more essays to write and more lab hours to complete, but it pushed us to be exceptional students. We became a lot more responsible for ourselves. Just a year or two ago, as we were transitioning from those adolescent years to early adulthood, most of us were given a little card. That little card did a lot more than just give our names and birth dates. It was a rite of passage into more freedom than we had ever experienced before. It was our driver's license. I'm sure that this new change brought a whole lot of uncertainty our way, and for those who own cars also needed a job, which in turn meant more responsibility. But look at us now. Sure, it was difficult, but ultimately we have embraced this change. How we embrace this change may be a question many of you might be wondering. After all, everyone experiences change differently. One thing that is certain is that without support, embracing these periods of uncertainty and doubt would have proved to be almost impossible. This support has come from our family and friends. Our friends and family are the rock that keeps us in line regardless of the good or bad that may occur throughout our life. Sure, friends come and go, and family life may change, but it will always be present. Whether it's staying up late until the early hours of the morning playing video games and having long talks with friends, or sitting by the campfire enjoying the company of our family while we roast s'mores. In those moments and more, we all have each other's backs. Regardless of the date, time, or situation, we will have each other's backs. While distance may separate us all in just a couple short months, there will always be a special spot in our hearts for these people that love us the most. With the book coming to a close, we end it with graduation. I'm sure for all of us this period is exciting, but get ready. Get ready, because on the turn of our tassels here today, everyone will be subjected to the biggest period of change to this date. Your high school job will now produce the income you'll use in college or whatever you have decided to pursue. Those cars that we are driving will quite possibly be taking us much farther than the outpost on Thursday nights during the football season. And lastly, all of the goals we made about where we will be and who we will become are now right around the corner. It is up to every student here today to use what they have learned up to this point in time and embrace this new change. Use the principles and values that Norwich High School, families, friends, work, and all others have taught us as we progress forward. Because on the turn of our tassels here today, we will no longer be in high school, and the book will come to a close. Wait, hold on. Don't be sad, because like every great book series, there's a bigger and better second book. The difference between the two, however, is that this one is not written. There is no beginning, middle, or end. It is a blank canvas waiting to be painted. The only author who can fill these empty pages is you. To do this, we must put that first book on the shelf. It will be there to skim through when we are looking to reminisce on an old memory, or if we may need a little bit of past experience to point us in the right direction as we progress. But try your hardest to keep it on that shelf. Keep it on the shelf because this next book will need your undivided attention. Like the first book, there will be uncertainty, and we may even feel powerless because of change. However, while we battle uncertainty, we are rewarded with opportunity. Find satisfaction in it. Participate in it. Don't let it fill you with discomfort. John F. Kennedy once said, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." To the Norwich High School class of 2018, I encourage you all to pick up that pen and be the author of your next book. Be the author of your futures, because only we as individuals have the ability to define the rest of our lives how we want them to be. Embrace this change. With that said, I wish you all the best of luck in the years to come, and God bless the class of 2018.
Thank you, Wes. Members of the Board of Education of Norwich City Schools, Mr. O'Sullivan, as principal of Norwich High School, I certify that all students about to receive diplomas have met or exceeded the requirements of Norwich High School and have met or exceeded the requirements for graduation as set forth by the New York State Board of Regents and the New York State Education Department. It is now time for the presentation of diplomas. I would like to invite the Board of Education President, Mr. John Konkowski, to please come forward so that we may begin the diploma ceremony. Wesley Edward Mills IV. Emily Patricia Lehman. Brianna Danielle Kemp. Holly Elizabeth Sullivan. Kaylee Ann Bonelli. Stephanie Nicole Carpenter. Adriana Marie Frattini. Madison Marie Hafley. Michael Newton Hayes. Leanne Elizabeth Humphrey. Mackenzie Ann Marks. Eleanor Elizabeth O'Neill. Graham William Rudy. Josiah Mark Shaver. Brandon James Scheimer. Destiny June Michaela Smith. Scott Thomas Tamanosi. Alexis Nicole Adams. Emily Christina Elisino. Benjamin K. Barber. Andrew Michael Berry. Austin Richard Beninati. Marcus Allen Benjamin. Damian Dean Biviano. Emma Jean Blennis. Taylor Madison Bliss. Jacob Thomas Brown. Jakaya Kayleen Brown. Brendan Michael Brush. Logan Brooke Buffalini. Megan Rose Burke. Jean-Luc Button. Cyan Elizabeth Caballero. Ana Clara Cansado Silva. Michael J. Carson. Alexandria Jordan Colley. Chloe Marshall Collier.
Congratulations, Alex. Congratulations.
Stella Collins. Ryan J. Cooper.
Congratulations, Stella. Good luck to you next year.
Austin James Cornell.
Congratulations, Ryan. Good luck to you next year.
Amber Maria Costin. Tarandara Lynn Crawford.
Congratulations, Amber. Good luck to you next year.
Parker A. Dean.
Congratulations, Tarandara. Good luck to you next year.
Dylan James Donahue.
Congratulations, Parker. Good luck to you next year.
James Harley Dumond II.
Congratulations, Dylan. Good luck to you next year.
Dawn Marie Dutcher.
Congratulations, Dylan. Good luck to you next year.
Brittany Heather Ernest.
Congratulations, Dylan. Good luck to you next year.
Crystal Daisy Ernest.
Congratulations, Brittany. Good luck to you next year.
Nicholas Allen Foster.
Congratulations, Crystal. Good luck to you next year.
Mackenzie Ann French.
Congratulations, Nicholas. Good luck to you next year.
Kylie Marie Ferguson.
Nice job. Thank you. Congratulations, Mackenzie. Good luck to you next year.
Leslie Jacqueline Galliano.
Congratulations, Kylie. Good luck to you next year.
Delilah Rose Geislinger.
Congratulations, Rosie. Good luck to you next year.
Christopher Michael Giglio.
Congratulations, Delilah. Good luck to you next year.
Maximilian R. Gergenti.
Congratulations, Christopher. Good luck to you next year.
Dylan Michael Gladstone.
Congratulations, Maximilian. Good luck to you next year.
Shaylin M. Graves. Anthony Sean Gregg.
Congratulations, Dylan. Good luck to you next year.
Blake Anthony Gripaldi.
Congratulations, Anthony. Good luck to you next year.
Shad Mitchell Hall.
Congratulations, Blake. Good luck to you next year.
Zainadine Hamim Harper. Kellyanne Morgan Harrison.
Congratulations, James. Good luck to you next year, buddy.
Zachary Hebert. Abigail May Henderson.
Congratulations, Zachary. Good luck to you next year.
Aaliyah Marie Hendrickson.
Congratulations, Abigail. Good luck to you next year.
Kayleese Marie Horton.
Congratulations, Aaliyah. Good luck to you next year.
Jasmine Howe.
Congratulations, Denise. Good luck to you next year.
Emma Jean Hutchings.
Congratulations, James. Good luck to you next year.
Ariel Michelle Jaquette.
Congratulations, Emma. Good luck to you next year.
Marley J. Jennings.
Congratulations, Emma. Yeah, congratulations. Good luck to you next year.
Logan Cole Jones.
Congratulations, Marley. Good luck to you next year.
Elizabeth Mary Carlson.
Congratulations, Logan. Good luck to you next year.
Troy Mark Kesmarsik.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. Good luck to you next year.
Autumn Sky Knapp.
Nice shoes, too.
Congratulations, Troy. Good luck to you next year.
Elijah James Silstra Kwasnick.
Congratulations, Emma. Good luck to you next year.
Abby Ryan Elizabeth Lamb.
Congratulations, Eli.
Congratulations, Elijah. Good luck to you next year.
Anthony J. Little.
Congratulations, Eli.
Congratulations, Abby. Good luck to you next year.
Lauren Elizabeth Llewellyn.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Anthony. Good luck to you next year.
Aaliyah Marie Lobdell.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, Lauren. Good luck to you next year.
Stephen Joe Lopresti.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, Leah. Good luck to you next year. Congratulations, Steve. Good luck to you next year. You too.
Matthew L. Manmoran. Randy Autumn Marengo.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, Matthew. Good luck to you next year.
Kajal Lavon Marison.
Congratulations, Randy. Good luck to you next year.
Noah James Marvin.
Good job, Patrick.
Congratulations, Janet. Good luck to you next year.
Alex Michael McCann.
Congratulations, Noah. Good luck to you next year.
Allison Michalunas.
Congratulations, Janet. Good luck to you next year.
Nicole Michaelunas. Haley Jeanette Mills.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Nicole. Good luck to you next year.
Sierra D. Musk.
Nice job, Haley.
Congratulations, Haley. Good luck to you next year.
Ariel M. Newell.
Congratulations, Sierra. Good luck to you next year.
Tan Huang Trom Win.
Congratulations, Ariel. Good luck to you next
Connor J. Nile.
year. Congratulations, Ariel. Good luck to you next year, buddy.
Cole Eric Olson.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Tommy. Good luck to you next year.
Hannah Mae Pollock.
Congratulations, Cole.
Congratulations, Tommy. Good luck to you next year.
Miranda Ray Pollock.
Congratulations, Cole.
Congratulations, Tommy. Good luck to you next year.
Allison Porak.
Congratulations, Miranda. Good luck to you next year.
Jason D. Potter.
Congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations, Allison. Good luck to you next year.
Carissa Elizabeth Prindle.
Congratulations, Allison. Good luck to you next year.
Miranda Ann Quackenbush.
Congratulations, Carissa. Good luck to you next year.
Zachary Todd Race.
Congratulations, Miranda. Good luck to you next year.
Nice job. You're doing great.
Congratulations, Zach. Good luck to you next year.
Miranda Caitlin Renwick. Alicia Marianne Richer.
Congratulations, Miranda. Good luck to you next year.
Ty Reifenberg.
Congratulations, Alicia. Good luck to you next year.
Jasmine Renee Rodriguez.
Congrats, Thomas.
Congratulations, Thomas. Good luck to you next year.
Aubrey Kaylin Root.
Congrats, good luck, Haley.
Congratulations, Jasmine. Good luck to you next year.
Shelby Marie Rose.
Congratulations, Aubrey. Good luck to you next year.
Derek Spencer Rubottom.
Congratulations, Shelby. Good luck to you next year.
Bartholomew Rostam Safavizadeh.
Good luck to you next year.
Gabriel E. Schmidt.
Congrats, Mark. Good luck.
Congratulations, Bartholomew. Good luck to you next year.
Cassandra N. Schultz.
Great job, Gabby. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Gabrielle. Good luck to you next year.
Emily Elizabeth Shattuck. Cameron A. Shaver.
Congrats, Emily.
Congratulations, Emily. Good luck to you next year.
Robert Lawrence Shepard.
Congratulations, Kimberly.
Congratulations, Cameron. Good luck to you next year.
Madeline Rose Skillen.
Congratulations, Robert. Good luck to you next year.
Brennan Eugene Slater.
You get a special presentation.
Carrie Jean Smith.
Congratulations, Cameron. Good luck to you next year.
Caroline F. Stewart.
Pretty cool to have Dad give you a diploma, huh?
Robert D. Stone IV.
Congratulations,
Congratulations, Carolyn. Good luck to you next year.
Christopher Edwin Sapensky.
Congrats, Robert. You're welcome.
Robert. Good luck to you next year.
Olivia Grace Terry.
Congrats, Chris. Nice job.
Congratulations, Chris. Listen, blackjack, buddy. Good luck next year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Olivia. Good luck to you next year.
Caitlin Ray Thomas. Christopher Watson Tolbert.
Congratulations. Good luck to you next year.
Michael P. Trevisani.
Nice job, Chris.
Congratulations, Christopher. Good luck to you next year.
Megan Rebecca Turner.
Congratulations. Just years ago, we played t-ball. Good luck to you next year.
Kevin Laverne Tuttle Jr.
Congratulations, Robert. Good job, brother.
Good luck to you next year.
Jacob M. Vanderwade.
Congrats again, Kevin. So good to see you here today.
Congratulations, Kevin. Good luck to you next year.
Matthew Francis Vasseur.
Nice job, Kevin.
Congratulations, Jacob. Good luck to you next year.
Brianna Irene Warren.
Congratulations, Matthew. Good luck to you next year.
Gabriel Luke Warren. Grant P. Wessels.
Congrats, Chris.
Congratulations, Dave. Good luck to you next year.
Dylan M. Willis.
Congratulations, Grant. Nice work, Chris.
Congratulations, Grant. Good luck to you next year.
Zachary T. Yakino.
Congratulations, Grant.
Congratulations, Jordan. Good luck to you next year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Zach. Good luck to you next year.
I wanted to take just a few moments. Thank you. I wanted to take a few moments to personally congratulate this group of fine young men and women seated before us today. It has been a privilege to be a part of their lives. Some I have known since the day they were born. Some I've had the honor of teaching in the classroom. Still others I've met on the field, on the courts, or on the stage. And some I had the privilege of meeting this year as we shared our time together in our journey at NHS. You are a beautiful group of young adults who are filled with promise and compassion. I want you to know that you have truly become a part of the fabric of my life. You have blessed my life, each in a unique way, and for that I am forever grateful. As a reflection on this time in your life, I would like to share with you a Native American proverb. The first line of the proverb reads, "Looking behind, I am filled with gratitude." It is my hope that your days in the Norwich City School District have been fulfilling to you. As you celebrate your successes this weekend, please take a moment to thank your parents, family members, teachers, and all those who have cheered you on from the sidelines to help bring you to this amazing day. Next, the proverb reads, "Looking forward, I am filled with vision." May the knowledge you have acquired and the courage you have developed help lead you on to creating the best version of yourself that you can be. Envision greatness for yourself and seek it in all that you do. The proverb goes on to say, "Looking upwards, I am filled with strength." At your core, there is a strength that can carry you forward into any walk of life you choose. Tap into that core in times of joy and in times of difficulty, and let it guide you to right decisions. May your inner strength provide you with the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. And the final line of the proverb says, "Looking within, I discover peace." Your journey ahead is just about to unfold. There will be twists and turns along the way, I'm sure. Through it all, try to remember that you are right where you are supposed to be in each and every moment of your life. There is a purpose for all of our experiences. Be present in those moments of your life. Breathe in all that the moment has to offer you. Let it settle into your soul and allow it to bring you to a new level of peace within yourself. We are truly proud of all of your accomplishments and wish you the best as you continue on your life's journey. At this time, will Wesley Mills, the senior class president, please come before the graduates, and will the class please rise and follow Wesley in the turning of the tassel ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, graduated seniors, this concludes our ceremonies here this morning. We would ask that everyone in the bleachers remain in the bleachers until the recessional has been completed. As you leave, please take with you our best wishes for a safe and happy celebration of the fine accomplishments of these men and women. And as Thoreau said, graduates, go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you have imagined. It gives me great pleasure to present and congratulate one last time the Norwich High School class of 2018.